What's going on, everybody? See if my Bluetooth is working. Hopefully my microphone is working, so. It's okay, Mama. I'll go slow. I'll go slow. What's going on, guys? Welcome for the ride, man. Just had a whole bunch of cops in my neighborhood again. Yeah, a whole bunch of cops were here again. Just craziness. They come here because somebody drove through their neighbor's shed with a, they drove through their neighbor's shed with a 4x4, like a four-wheeler. And pretty sure I counted 3 cop cars, man. I'm pretty sure it was 3 different cop cars and 3 different cops that came. Just for one little call, man, about a neighbor driving a four-wheeler like it was an accident too. Wasn't even on purpose. The guy drove his four-wheeler into his neighbor's shed, and yeah, they sent 3 cop cars. Like 3 cop cars, really far too, to come and investigate this. The guy wasn't drunk, nothing going on, and yeah, 3 cop cars, man, and a city guy. Like the city works guy, he comes, parks up, and I start talking to him. Like, he's like, what happened? I'm like, oh man, somebody drove their four-wheeler right through the neighbor's shed. Like, not side-by-side yards, but like, like front and back, like, there's no laneway, there's no alleyway, there's no laneway, it's just a fence, you know what I mean? The guy went to start his machine, and I guess the machine got away on him. I think he was just starting it maybe to go outside of his yard. Like, the guy has a small yard, so I'm pretty sure he wasn't driving like a Yahoo in his backyard, because his yard's very small. So, just a little accident, but they still sent 3 cops, man. The cops were there for like 40 minutes investigating somebody driving into a shed. Like, well, it's not a shed, it's a really nice garage, and there's a lot of damage done, but it's not a criminal matter, and definitely not 3 cop criminal matter. But I don't know, man. Somebody said that the neighbors might have been arguing, but I was there. Nobody was arguing. It was pretty cordial, like they're just going to have to take care of it in civil lawsuits, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand how these cops justify their high budget by going to these calls. Like, literally, like the guy started his four-wheeler got out of control, it drove through another person's property, and it hit the person's garage. It had to be torn out of the garage. Like, they had to tow it out of the garage with like a backhoe and stuff. So there's significant damage, but like the 911 callers, they've got to learn. Like, we shouldn't be calling 3 police to show up at a neighbor's house and there's no disturbance. Like, there was nothing going on at all. Like, the neighbors weren't freaking out on each other. Like, it was one of the most established men in the neighborhood who's had a store forever, and he's had a store forever, and you know what I mean? He's calm, his wife's calm, like, there's nothing to be there. No reason for 3 cops to be there. Like, there's no cop safety issue in this area of town I'm in. There's 1,000 people. Like, I've never heard of any crime happening in this whole neighborhood. The worst thing that ever happened was when the cops came after me. And like, I didn't even do nothing. I played a speaker with dogs barking in my backyard, and they came and kicked down my door with the SWAT team. Yeah, man, they bring the whole SWAT team. So maybe that's just how they are around here. Maybe those cops are just so scared that, any neighbor altercation or anything that happens between neighbors, they're just so scared that it's going to turn into some domestic issue where the cop is the one who gets hurt. So maybe they just send 3 cops for every issue like that. But I don't know, man. 3 cops for 1 hour there? That's a lot of damn resources for a civil matter where the guy's going to have to sue. If the neighbors don't come towards an agreement, they got 2 years before the statute of limitations is up for suing. So if they don't come to an agreement within 2 years, the neighbor is just going to sue the other neighbor. I know who the guy is. The guy's very successful. He's very well established, and he's got probably lawyers on the phone already. Or, you know what I mean? His house insurance probably going to take care of it. Like, it's not even going to be him who has to sue the other guy. It'll probably be the house insurance. Like, his insurance will probably cover it, and then that insurance will have to go after the other homeowner or the son or something, because it was the son who did it, right? Son got on his 4-wheeler, boom, right through the neighbor's garage. So dog is secure for anyone in the chat. I've got a harness on her, and my screen is totally covered. So any cops in the chat, I can't see anything on my screen. I'm not distracted driver. So yeah, literally, I was walking in my neighborhood. There's never cops around, but lately, like every time I go for a walk, there's cops in my neighborhood. I just can't believe the amount of cops that they have sent in my neighborhood for issues. Like, and I wanted to ask the cop about distracted driving, right? I wanted to see, like, if live streaming is distracted driver, right? Because distracted driving isn't looking at your GPS, but distracted driving is looking at the movie, right? So, like, I don't read the chat when I'm driving. I've got my hands on the handlebars. My dog's tied in, right? I'm going very slow. But I just cover up the whole screen, and I just got the camera front facing. So I can't see the screen. If they stop me, they're not going to give me no $1,000 fine and try to tow away my bike, and maybe who knows what else they want to do to me. Every time they try to get behind me and touch me in my swimsuit area, these police around here. So yeah, they sent 3 cop cars with 3 different police to somebody's house over here down the road. The guy's son drove into his garage with a 4-wheeler and a recreational vehicle, right? Not on the street, nothing, private property. It's just a civil issue. 3 cops show up. So I follow the cops after they're done wasting about an hour of the people's time and money. I follow them because the cop's like, okay, I got to go, stop asking me hard questions. I'm like, whatever, I'm just asking you a question, boom, go on your way. But I'm smart, so I'm like, where are these guys going to go and sit for 30 minutes and eat their donut? You know what I mean? So exactly what they did. They just drove up and around the corner thinking that I'm just going to go on my merry way home and I'm not going to want no more footage. So I follow them. I sneak around. I get all this undercover footage of the cops just sitting there talking, scrolling on their phone. Allegedly, they're on their Facebook and probably watching my video. They're like, oh, let's go see if you uploaded the video yet. I'm going to be famous. But all these cops know, like, all my videos are getting lots of views. Maybe not my long form videos, but that doesn't matter, man. Got almost 400,000 views on a short, 200,000, 100,000, 200,000. Everybody still sees how bad the cops are. They don't have to watch a 1 hour video to see how bad the cops are. And I'm not really in it for the money at this point, so I don't mind just getting short views until I learn how to edit my long form videos better and do better thumbnails and stuff, right? But yeah, that's a call right there. 3 cops for how long? And then the other day, maybe a week ago, I was down the road at a highway hotel, just a little motel where like people rent for maybe $700 a month. You got just one room, just like those little flea bag motels on the side of the road. You know what I mean? So let me pass this guy. It's a big the farmer's farming right now. Boom. I gotta pass him. Big tractor. So it's a flea bag motel down here where they rent for $700 a month, maybe $750 now. I'm not sure, not too sure, right? But they sent 3 cop cars there for a crowbar, a missing crowbar. Somebody lent another person a crowbar, and I got the video, and the guy says, man, why'd you send the cops to my door over this crowbar? You could have just knocked on my door. He's like, I gotta go somewhere. So literally, these people in this area are just using their own resources. It's their own resources. Like you think the 911 operator is not going to send a cop? Every time that phone rings, she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's been trained for. She's been trained to send the cops there, and the cops know they're going to swell up the budget because every call is extra money on the budget, and then extra money next year needed for the next budget because they justify all of their calls and all of their things by how many calls go out. You know what I mean? So there's a hotel right up here. Let me stop for a second. I'm going to put my dog's glasses on before I get on the highway. I don't want nothing to hit her in her eyes or nothing. Yeah, man, these 911 operators know what they're doing too. Like literally, the 911 operator should have been trained to tell the person, like, oh, this is a civil issue, so just take pictures of your garage, get in touch with your home insurance. We don't need to send 3 cops and 3 cop cars there. Like I could see if they were arguing or something, maybe even just sending 1 cop just to get some, you know what I mean, in case anything happens, you know what I mean? But I don't even believe in that. It's a civil issue, man. Just deal with your civil issue civilly in the civil courts. Shouldn't really need a cop for every issue. And that's where it gets all messed up with our budgets, and then we got no services. We surely have service for the cop. I can go to call the cops right now on my neighbor just for like almost anything, and the cops will show up because they know there's budget to be made there. Yeah, I'm gonna get on the highway right here, guys. I want to show you where that hotel was. Like just some sleazebag hotel up here, and one guy lends his crowbar to another guy, and they call the 911 or something, maybe the non-emergency, who knows. And then right where I'm passing right here, I see a cop parked there. And he's parked for like 20 minutes there, and there's like a gas station on this side. And so I go to the gas station just to see what the cop is doing there. I thought he was running radar check. So I'm like, okay, he's not leaving. He's probably running radar. So I'll come down to this hotel over here, and I'll warn people about the radar check, right? It's a little flea bag motel right here on the side of the road. So I'm like, I'll warn people about the radar. So I come around here, boop, I park right, oh shit, there's a hole and there's a dog. I park right here, right? Then next thing you know, boom, a cop comes in right there. Comes in and pulls up right beside me. Oh, I get out with my camera. I'm like, hey, officer, what's going on? Da-da-da. I start talking to him. Really nice, man. Next thing you know, like, he almost attacked me here twice. Like, this is a flea bag motel. Let me try to get a picture of it. This dog is mad at me, man. Wow, big dog, man. Big angry dog. Yeah, so, I'm at this motel and these cops come in, man. They're angry, guys. They're angry because they know I videotaped them, man. This guy tried to attack me twice, man. I've got the video in my long form video, man. The cop just attacks me with the phone the first time, and then I'm interviewing the guy about the crowbar after, right? Oh, shoot, my dog's helmet fell off. Oh, yeah, could you grab me that? My dog's helmet fell off. Thank you so much. Awesome. Yeah, she's got glasses on. Service dog. Well, it's just a vest. She's not a real service dog. Yeah, I can't afford to buy a real service dog. But yeah, they're arguing about the crowbar right over here, right? So I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? I didn't know it was only over a crowbar. So I'm like, I would have bought you guys the crowbar. I started interviewing the guy who was being bothered by the other guy. Like the guy borrowed his crowbar. You could have just knocked on the door and not called the cops. So the cops are all here. The guy starts lipping off a little bit. He's like, fuck, you should have just asked me, man. What the hell's going on? So when I go over to interview my friend there, well, not my friend, but I just see him around, and the cop comes just to attack me. And the guy's got to be like, hey, man, I know him. Like, hey, settle down. I don't know what's wrong with these cops. Like, that's what I mean. Like, they don't even care if they abuse you because it's just more resources. They have somebody in their station who investigates the abuse that they do on you. So yeah, and then I've seen a couple more calls around here recently where the cops shouldn't have been involved. Like they shouldn't have been involved. There's no reason for them to come from the station, or like I'd prefer them being on the side of the road with the radar gun. Take down all the speed cameras like everybody wants, and get cops on the side of the road again doing the radar cameras. Like, I don't want to have a radar camera over there sneakily getting me. I'd rather a cop work for that money, you know what I mean? Let the cop get out there and control the traffic, and, you know, those radars only work a little bit, then people know where they are. And you can't move them as much as you can move a cop. And, you can put a cop in 4 or 5 different places in one day if there's problems in a bunch of different places. But cameras, it probably takes a long time to move them from one location to the other. But they know they'd rather be out on safe calls. Stopping cars on the highway is not safe. You know how many cops get crushed delivering tickets? What do you think they would rather? A metal box handing out the tickets, or them risking their life? You know what I mean? They'd rather be chasing cameramen. They'd rather be going to solve issues about a crowbar. And that's where better training on 911 needs to come in. But I don't know. I talked to 2 anonymous neighbors about it, and I told them about both calls, and they're like, no, we need to have 3 cops there. And I'm like, I'm trying to agree with them, like maybe 2 cops. You know what I mean? Like sending 1 cop anywhere without backup is, that's not really safe in today's society. Like, it's not always about cop safety, it's about citizen safety too. But 1 cop, okay, I'll give them that. That 1 cop might not be safe on every call, that he might be 2 cops. But I cannot give the citizens the benefit of the doubt that we need 3 cops to come to every call, because we don't know what might happen on that call. Like, literally, like, only 8, I think, in my country, only 8 cops died last year, right, on the duty. So I'm not even sure if all of those times were like bad people did something, or maybe a car accident or something, or they did something else that made them go away. You know what I mean? But I can give it to them like 2. Okay, yes, maybe you would need 2 on each call because life is unpredictable, right? But have 3 on each call, and this is twice this week, or twice in like 2 weeks, that I've caught this kind of action from the police station. And I'm going to go over there and I'm going to confront them about it, because I think it's wrong. And then I'm looking at the cop car, the windows down, the car is running, the keys are in there, there's weapons in there, the windows down, like 2 inches down, where I could have just, pried open the window somehow and got in there, drove away with a car with all kinds of guns and everything. So if things are so dangerous that they need 3 cops there, well, then why are things not dangerous enough to turn your car off, lock it, set the alarm, roll your window up, right? So it's like 2 different standards. People think they really need. It's like, I need them, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'll stretch that benefit out of the doubt beyond common sense almost. You know what I mean? Like literally, I know, like, there's a lot of, like, not my neighbors, because like one's, they're older, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of younger citizens that literally wouldn't be able to protect themselves, so they run along with the boot. The boot, and the boot's always been there, and I feel safe there. So, you know what I mean? These younger people don't even know how to defend themselves, or they're just scared if they defend themselves, they might go to jail or something, because society's really changing, man. Like this one city that I've been watching there, they're going to start chasing the homeless people, because the homeless people are the easiest people to chase. It's very safe to chase the homeless people and then spend all kinds of resources tearing apart their tents. And they know that I'm coming after that city. And the police chief, he called me and he told me if I film any of his cops, he's going to charge me with harassment. So I was like, what, your cops are all scared of me? How are your cops scared of me? They're the ones with weapons. Right? For a harassment charge, you have to have legitimate fear. You know what I mean? You have to be in fear of the person. So all your cops, you just admitted that all your cops are scared of me. So listen, Mr. North Bay police officer watching right now, why are you guys all scared of me? Ask yourself that. Yeah, man. Maybe you shouldn't be police officers if you're scared of a camera. And Mr. Police Officer that's watching right now, maybe you shouldn't be a police officer if a camera scares you, or if you need 3 people to come to a civil issue about someone driving into a neighbor's garage. Like I was thinking, okay, well, somebody drove into a neighbor's garage with a 4-wheeler, so I'm thinking, okay, the cops are coming. The cops are here. Maybe they have to, maybe the guy was drunk. But then again, I'm like, no, it's on private property. They don't have to test nobody for drinking and driving because it's on private property. An accident on private property, it just is what it is. That's why we got the civil courts, you know what I mean? But I already know it was one of the richest guys in town, right? One of the most successful guys. He had the corner store, and now his son owns the corner store. They had a whole bunch of property and this and that and this and that. So I know if I called, I know if my neighbor drove into my garage with her with her mobile scooter or something and damaged my garage, and I called the cops, they would not come to my house because I'm poor. I'm not influential. I'm unfluential. You see how that is? They always use the words on you: uncooperative, unpredictable, erratic, unresponsive. With the rich people, they use the words, inclusive, insurance. For poor people, they're like, what? My shit broke. Somebody drove into my barn, my shed. I ain't got no insurance. Out of luck insurance. So, well, yeah, thanks for being here, guys. It's cold out today, man. I'm in a winter jacket and everything, man. Crazy. I'm just trying to use this new mic, man. I used it a couple days ago driving around, and it was like, it wasn't staticky, but it was kind of, I had the thing that blocks from the wind, and I think that was just rubbing, or just maybe because this is closed and it just makes my mic staticky. So a few times I had 20,000 people watching my dog over, you know what I mean, over a 40-minute period. 20,000 people would run through, and then I put the mic in, and then all of a sudden I only had 6,000 people, and I was even riding for longer. So I just didn't understand that, man. I was like, well, I could, because I watched it back, and I was like, oh shit, the mic's all staticky and stuff. So I took the little wind protector piece, the wind piece off that stops the wind from coming in the mic. So hopefully it's working a little better, man. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about resource vampires, man. These city people, they are resource vampires, and they don't care about it. Like literally, they don't care. There's a city that's around here that I was reading in the newspaper that the people who ran the city were so crappy that they had to raise the taxes on the property 80% just to get basic services running. So literally, they had to like almost double the taxes, and the people revolted, and they got some money from the government to help, but they ended up having to raise their taxes 20%. Like there you go, boom, 20% extra because these people don't know how to run their resources, and we have one of the most expensive police forces where I come from. Like I don't know why they built them a brand new building. I went over there yesterday to use my gimbal and my tripod and my mic. I was just got them from, just bought them and they were delivered, right? So I went over to the police station. I just wanted to get some footage and try to use my gimbal and my tripod and learn some stuff, you know? So I'm just over there, getting some footage, and then I look down and I see all this grass. It's like 10, 15, 20 inches long, and I just start making a video about it. I'm like, the first day I moved in my community here, I bought an abandoned house, right? It was abandoned for 10 years. Nobody cut the grass. So I get here, all I got is this cheap-ass whippersnipper that my dad gave me, and I'm just trying to chop through this grass, you know what I mean? And along comes the first day, along comes the code enforcement talking about, you got to cut that grass, eh? I'm like, dude, I just bought an abandoned house. And then the whippersnipper actually broke, and I showed him a part that I did. And he's like, oh, I understand. You bought the house the other day, but it's just been out of control for too long. And I'm like, yeah, but like, dude, like, why wouldn't you just give me a couple days before you came here? You know what I mean? And that's how all my problems started with them. Because they started, like, I don't know if it was in the neighbors or maybe it was the city, because they were trying to tear down the house. They were like in the process of setting it up to be demolished, but it wasn't that bad. Like they were just exaggerating the house, Oh, something's wrong with the ceiling inside. Like the kitchen ceiling had a little sag in it. Like there was a little bit of sagging in it. So they were probably exaggerating that the whole roof was going to fall in. But no, man, I bought the house for $30,000. Roof was brand new. All the skeleton of the whole house was brand new. A little bit of foundation issues. All the drywall had to come out. All the electrical, all the plumbing froze. Everything had to come out. There was nothing that I could save. All the windows, doors, exterior, everything. All the siding had to come off, and I had to change some rot. But like all the skeleton of the house and all in the attic was all mold free. There was no insects, no nothing. Like there was no rats, no nothing. It was a beehive, but in the wall I found. But other than that, that was all there was, man. So I took all the drywall out. I made sure I just any rotted wood I took out, any mold I took out, and just started rebuilding it. So I think the city was mad at me, or maybe the neighbors were mad at me, because I know some of the neighbors wanted to buy it also. I'm not too sure which ones, but the guy ended up selling it to me for $30,000, and he didn't even know me. So he must have not really liked the neighbors. But yeah, man, they sent everybody after me. They sent the code enforcement. They sent the building guy telling me I had to get permits and stuff. I chased them all away. I told them, give me a fine. Just give me the ticket. I'll see you in court, because I know the law. I know the law better than you. So just give me the ticket, and I'll see you later. Well, they wouldn't give me no tickets, right? So they just kept on sending more people after me, to the point where they just sent the police, and then the police falsely accused me of some stuff eventually. And like, once the police start getting sent to your house, and if you're not rich, they will eventually make up a reason to arrest you. So always have your cameras rolling, guys. Yes, always have your cameras rolling, man. Even my cameras were rolling, and one of my neighbors helped them get probable cause to arrest me. just enough evidence to arrest me that maybe something happened. You know what I mean? And we'll figure it out 18 months from now in court. So one of my neighbors helped them, right? And it's horrible, man. They'll figure out a way to get you into the system if you're not compliant with them. Or they'll try to chase you right out of your neighborhood too, man, in these small towns. Like literally, that's what they were trying to do, man. Yeah. They charged me with like six different charges, and then I go to court, and they want time served. They want time served for 6 serious criminal charges. I told them to go away, man. I was like, I was only in jail 1 day. You want to give me 1 day time served, and you want me to give you my DNA. Yeah, they wanted my DNA. They wanted 1 day time served for 6 serious charges that the cops come to get me for in a 4-day span. And they sent the SWAT team after me. 1 day time served is what they wanted. I told them to go away. I said, you guys are crazy. I said, you guys are funny. I said, that's one of the funniest things I ever heard. Like, I'm going to actually, you know what I mean? 6 serious charges. Like, I know, like, you get a lot of time in jail for that. And this is the justice system we are with today in our countries, where they'll just let the criminals out. Like, they're literally letting the criminals out on the street. Because if I was guilty of those 6 serious criminal charges, there's no way I deserved 1 day time served in jail and just take my DNA. So they're prosecuting people that they have butthurt feelings on, and they're letting out other people that are actual real criminals that should have been prosecuted. That's just how the system goes, guys. It's horrendous. They only have enough resources to defend against their liability, right? So when the cops falsely arrest me, well, I could sue them for that. They're liable for that, right? So they would prefer to waste court time on me, like 5 days trial. I had a 5-day trial for this, that they wasted 5 days of the people's time, and countless months of motions and answering all kinds of stuff that I applied for with the court, right? Lots of court dates. Yeah, they'd rather waste their time making sure that I'm found guilty of something so they can avoid liability. So for them to do that over and over and over again, you got to multiply this throughout the whole country over and over and over again. Every police force, maybe every time somebody's on shift, they get butthurt feelings and they arrest somebody, right? So they need to prosecute those guys to avoid liability. So they're literally letting out other criminals. Like where I come from, they let drunken driving charges. The courts are so backed up that they let a whole bunch of drunken driving charges become dangerous driving charges. So these people would get less of a penalty and the court case would be done. So they literally let all these drunk drivers just go because they need to prosecute people that have cameras. Oh my God, you went to City Hall with a camera and you asked a question. That's a threat to democracy. Or you went to the police station and you asked a question. That's a threat to democracy. Like I seen David Menzies yesterday. Go watch the video. He located a bunch of thieves that went in a white van with dog spray at a liquor store, and he located the van and the location and everything. And then he went to the cops' place, and he's like, I know where these people are that stole all this liquor. It was an armed robbery because they had the weapon. And the cop was like, well, you have to go and you have to call this number. And then he waited outside. He seen another cop doing radar check or whatever, and he went and asked him. And that cop went in and got him a place he could go online and submit all the video and everything instead of calling. But literally, he was at the police station, and he wanted to go into the police station to videotape his report. And Rebel News, David Menzies, in the police station, wanted to record, but they wouldn't let him, so he couldn't record. He had to go in there, do his business, and now it's their word against his word in the police station, right? How safe do you feel around police? Like, I don't feel safe around police. I feel just as unsafe around police as I do around violent criminals. Like, they both have weapons. They're both unstable. They both probably have post-traumatic stress. They both probably have like anxieties, like heavy anxieties and traumas in their life that they haven't dealt with healthily. You know what I mean? And at any point, these people are able to snap and take their trauma out on you. Like, I would never feel safe around a cop nor a criminal like that, has unresolved mental issues. Like, and that's their own problem. Like, and in Canada, like, I seen a cop beat a homeless guy with, they tased him, he hit him with the flashlight, smashed his face open, he dragged him around and stuff. And then I seen the judge be like, well, he had post-traumatic stress from his time as a cop, so I'm not going to give him no time in jail. Like, he just ruined the whole man's life, took advantage of one of the most vulnerable people in our society, and then blamed it on his unresolved mental issues. I don't care who caused. Nobody told you to be a cop. Nobody told you to go get $120, $130, $200,000 a year to be a cop and have such a good life that little bit of shift with the unruly public has caused you post-traumatic stress. Well, then, post-traumatic stress, go deal with your issues. Your unresolved trauma and your unresolved stress and depression and anxiety is not an excuse to not go to jail. You beat somebody, you cause all that bodily injury as a police officer, you should go to jail longer than what a criminal would go to jail for. I expect that behavior from a criminal. Like, we should be so appalled with the behavior of the police in our society today that this should automatically change. It shouldn't even be a long process like it is. It should have been an overnight. It should have been an overnight process. Like, I don't know, man, but I guess in where I come from, they took away everybody's right to defend themselves properly. We don't have the certain amendments like what they do up in the down in America or whatever. You know what I mean? But I wish there was a government that would just come in and say, okay, if we go far away from what the people want, you can come in and you can just drag us out by force. Use whatever force needed to drag us out, and that's it. It'll be legal. Like, but no, it's illegal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they could be as tyrant as they want, and it still be illegal, because laws are just made from the political party that's in power. Laws are made from the political party that's in power and their feelings at the time. That's exactly how laws were made. You know what I mean? And ain't no law made where, it's the other party's feelings that they're taking into consideration. So as soon as that one party wants to come in that's authoritarian enough, it's the people that are in these costumes that are paid $200,000 a year and who are also probably living outside their budget. The police, those are going to be the ones who are going to enforce the policies. Those are going to be the ones who are going to fill up the train cars again and send you to the camp to concentrate. Yeah, man. Who do you think it's going to be? It ain't going to be your neighbor, right? And after a while, like, if they don't follow the leader's demands, they're not coming back into the community. So it's too late after a certain point. Like, authoritarianism doesn't show up overnight. It creeps in slowly, right? And these people participate in it slowly, and then they figure out, oh wow, I'm so far wrapped up in this, I can't even go back to my own community, so I gotta just hustle these people on the boxcars, get my $200,000 a year, protect my family, protect uncle and auntie and mommy and daddy and my children and my wife, and make sure they're okay while everybody else's rights go away. And that's exactly what's going on right now as we speak. I don't care what country you're in. There is a lot of authoritarianism going on right now. Like, in my country, I know both parties are the same. They're both authoritarian capitalists who just want to feed the rich. Like, in 1965, Okay, a CEO only made 20 times what the highest paid employee made. So say there's a CEO and then you got the manager or whatever, the CEO would only make 20 times more than what that manager makes. All right, now how much do you think a CEO makes compared to the highest paid employer in the company? The CEO makes 280 times more than what a public employer or what the employee makes in, you know what I mean? In the shop, the manager or whatever. So how can you justify 280 times more pay than the person doing all the hard work? That's incredible. If that's not communism, I don't know what communism is. And then these guys get all the bailouts. It's socialism for the rich, and the poor all just get screwed. So I don't know where that system came from, guys. I don't know what them people are doing, man. I don't subscribe to them channels. I do not subscribe to them channels, man. Yes, I don't believe a CEO should make more than maybe maybe 20, yeah, maybe 20 times what the highest paid person in there makes. And same with all these government workers. They should never be getting that much. They should never be getting that much. If we want to fix the system, we got to find the money from somewhere. Right? So, what are they going to give it up? You know what I mean? Just like the rich white man is never going to give up their power. The government's never going to give up their power protecting the rich white men. So, it is what it is. Yeah. There's an illusion of you getting rich, but you know what I mean? The only choice you have is extra large fries. Green cheese creeps in. Yeah, man. They take the poor, they take the mentally ill away, right? They bulldoze the tents, you know? They bulldoze the tents and criminalize being homeless. Well, if you bulldoze, okay, there's a place called Barrie, Ontario. I just seen a guy named Christmas List. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He travels the world, goes to a lot of different dangerous places. He's from Toronto, right? Chris, his first name Must and List. And yeah, he goes around. So we went to Barrie because the mayor in this town called a state of emergency because of all the homeless and drug addicts. So when I heard one homeless guy say it, man, and it was the truth, I was like, oh, this is the truth. He's like, if you come in and you bulldoze down all these people's tents, take all their belongings because they only have 15 minutes to pack up, where do you think they're going? They're going down by the next strip mall, all right? They're going down by the next strip mall to steal everything they need, and they're going to live behind that strip mall. So literally, you're just increasing the loss on the community. You might be cleaning up that strip mall, but it's just going to the next strip mall or the next highway, wherever the homeless are in your city. You know what I mean? Just by the train tracks or whatever. They're always by the stores because they got to steal something. So if you go and you bulldoze down all the things that they've already stolen to live their life and expect them not to go somewhere and go steal it all back again to live their life again, well, then you're sadly mistaken. And if you think putting these people just in some homeless shelter at nighttime is going to save them, that's not helping, man. They need more than just a warm bed at night and then kicked out at 8 o'clock in the morning to go do their drugs on the street till they come back, right? So, yeah, you can't just bulldoze them down and get them to move on. I wish life was that easy, man. Okay, we'll bulldoze down their tent. Now they're healed. Kumbaya. Thank you, Jesus. All right, so yeah, he went there, and that's what the guy said, man. You think you're helping, but you're not helping. Okay, well these guys, this community gets a break for maybe a little bit, maybe a week or two, or whenever whenever they bulldoze down the next homeless encampment, they're going to go around and around and around we go. You know what I mean? It's like magical chairs, right? Or whatever that game is. You're going to land somewhere. Are they going to land on the floor or on a chair? But it don't matter. It's going to be in somebody's neighborhood. You can't criminalize homelessness. You know how much it costs to be in jail. It costs $300 a day. $300 a day. Jesus. I'm sure, like, man, you give any one of them homeless people $100 a day and they won't be homeless. But that's another thing there. That's another fact of life. Like, no matter what you do with these people, they're always going to be homeless. You know why? Are you going to rent to them? So it's either going to be the government making up places where these zombies can go and do whatever they're going to do until they expire, like maybe getting old buildings and just letting them go in there and do whatever they want to do until they expire, because, like, literally ain't no landlord renting to them. Are you going to rent to these people in the tents? Did you expect anyone else to rent to them? Where do you expect them to go? Where do you want them to go? We don't want them in the tents. All right? We don't want to be paying $400 a day in the homeless shelter and that system eating up all our money. All right? So how are we going to convince a landlord to take these people? Ain't no landlord taking them. I already discussed that with one of my friends there. He's like, you're right. They're never going to have a place to live. I don't even care if we gave them $5,000 a month for rent. Then, like, okay, here, we're the best socialist government in the world. We're going to give all our citizens in the tents $5,000 for rent. I'm not renting. I'm not renting to that guy. And there ain't no way. I don't care how good you clean him up, you're still going to know where he came from and probably where he's going back, and he's taking your apartment with it. So, yeah, what are we going to do with them? Just bulldoze down their tents, send them city to city? Right? Most of them are mentally ill. We have no not insane asylums, but we have no place to put them. Like, there's no help for them. I don't know anyone that's in a tent that's not mentally ill. Like, probably, like, you know what I mean? I'm willing to, like, bet anybody. Let's go to any tent. You go find me a tent, and I'll bet you any amount of money we open that tent, and that person is suffering from mental illness. You know what I mean? So, like, we got to cure the mental illness, and then make sure that we cure the family so they're not raising generational trauma. It's all about the generational trauma, guys. You know, we got to cure the generational trauma to get the situation cured, man. And I believe that generational trauma started with the police over-policing in the 80s and the 90s with the war on drugs, and they criminalized everything and everyone, and they stole all the hope from society. They stole all the humanity that was left in these people, and they pushed them into a pit of despair. And then along comes the inflation and, housing costs getting out of control and everything, and that just adding to everything too. And then it's just a big spiral for these people that are the most vulnerable. Like, so I don't know what the solution is besides the generational trauma. Setting up, like, communities somewhere, taking them there. If you want to do drugs, the drugs are free. Stay here. Now we have another house right over there that if you want help, we got all the amenities for you to get help. We got everything you want to get back on the street and live a good life. We'll fix your teeth. We'll fix your this. We'll fix your that. We'll give you schooling. We'll give you, you know what I mean? We'll get you out there at a certain point. And we'll maybe having a place where they can just stay and do drugs. Making it criminal again, I guess, maybe. And just bringing them back to that place. Their sentence is going back to that place and doing their drugs there until they jump off the earth. You know what I mean? Have apartment blocks where they're stuck there. I know that seems cruel, maybe, but maybe as a sentence, maybe as soon as they're caught doing drugs in the open, we sentence them to house arrest at that location, and we make them stay there, and then they'll get used to their drugs there, right? And if they want a chance, they can get some chance on one of the same kind of buildings that's right around there for people who want to get help. If they fall back into their traps while they're getting help, they can go right back to the other building. Oh, using drugs in public, you're sentenced to 12 months in house arrest at this address. If they go in there, they have all their drugs, they got everything on the other side that they can go and get help again when they want to get help. You're never gonna force these people just by bulldozing their tents or doing whatever kind of cruel action that you're doing. You're never going to change them and heal them. It's not going to be like kumbaya. Look at how cruel humanity is. Like, you think they care about your cruelness? Most of them people have had the worst of the worst in humanity happen to them. But the worst of the worst parents who have abused them, neglected them, maybe tried to even end their whole life, probably tried to end everything on them. You know what I mean? Like the worst of the worst. These people aren't there because they had their diapers changed when they were infants and didn't have the backhand. You know, they didn't eat a backhand for dinner, lunch, and supper. They're not there because you know, that white picket fence or whatever you call it in your country. They're there because society gave up on them. Their social contract was broken, right? There's a contract between society and people, right? So I have a contract with society to be protected, to be loved, to be cared for, to have a good childhood, to grow up healthy, to have the right schooling and parenting and protection from the police and a good government. Once those contracts are broken and you're abused by your own parents or whatever it is, how are you going to ever trust anyone else? You think just going and bulldozing their tent is going to create trust in this when the social contract has already been so far broken that listen, if you've been traumatized for 30 years, whether it's you doing it to yourself, somebody else doing it to you, and you think just bulldozing their tent and then the next day they're going to be healed, oh man, you've been traumatized for 10 years, you've been addicted for 10 years, you've been whatever for 10 or 15, 20 years. It just doesn't take one day. It takes that many more years. You've been messed up for 20 years. It might take you 20 years to recover, to learn how to live a normal life and to learn how to meld back into society and to become a human. You were just dehumanized for 20 years. Who knows what kind of conditions these people are in? Like, I see it. I know what kind of conditions they are in. Like, I've seen the worst of worst. So if you expect that, just bulldozing their tent, they're okay. No, man, they're in Walmart the next day. They don't care if they go to jail. Well, they kind of do because they don't got no drugs. They're not really looking to go to jail. But they're still in Walmart the next day stealing, and the prices are going up, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I don't know what the solution is, guys, but I know it isn't criminalizing homelessness and mental illness. There's got to be a better solution. There's got to be a way to bring our loved ones back from the brink of despair like that, man. It's horrible. My sister went through that, man. She's gone now, but she had hip surgery she couldn't go to through the COVID pandemic. Backed up. Eventually had it, but it messed up her body so long that not having it, and then she didn't do the rehabilitation after. So heart just didn't like that, man. But it was about the drugs, maybe mostly the trauma that she had and suffered in her life and the abuse that she had done to herself is just took it, boom, gone. These people, I know my sister. I know what my sister's been through. I know it wasn't a happy life, and she didn't have a happy future either. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like when she went, I was like, this is horrible. She's only 40 years old, but she could have just lived the other 40 years in just a horrible situation too. So I don't know if it was better for her or not. I don't think it was better. Maybe at least she was at home watching TV. She wasn't on drugs no more. She was just sitting at home drinking alcohol and just watching her TV, right? So probably would have been better if she just did her rehab and just drank her beer and watched her goddamn game shows. But she didn't do her rehab. But that's about the social contract with life too, man. Like, once social contract's broken, man, it's hard to recover your life, man. It takes 20, 30 years or more. I recovered my life, so I'm happy. But I didn't care. I knew a long time ago I was alone in this world, and I knew it was better for me. I knew I couldn't depend on nothing, no one, ever, never, never, never. Always protect myself, do whatever I had to do for myself, never beg anybody nothing. Yeah, man. And I was good for it. From 10 years old, man, I was out doing whatever I had to do to get food and whatever, man. Get get by in life. Probably I was in jail at 12, man. I was a I was a menace, man. Boy, I was a menace. I don't regret it, man. Not one bit of it do I regret. I don't believe there's problem child. Like some people say, oh, that's a problem child. I don't believe in that saying, man. I believe there's a child with a problem. If you solve the problem, you solve the child. Nobody tried to solve my problem. So, fuck them. I don't feel bad. I am where I am in life through all of that and through everything else I put myself through, put everybody else through. I wouldn't be where I am, wouldn't be as happy as I am if any of that changed, probably. So I'd have some unrealistic outcome like most people in life, right? So, anyways, guys, my ride is almost over. Thanks for being here. Loose Screw News. Yes, follow, subscribe. Hopefully this mic is working a little better. This winter, I'll probably be setting something up in my house just to do live streams. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that just as much, man. I just don't like sitting down and at a desk and stuff, you know? I prefer riding or walking when I'm talking and stuff. Yes, man. I want to thank you guys all again, man. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow the creator, man. Me and my dog, we gonna be out here for you guys. All right. You saying bye, mama? You gonna say bye byes? You gonna say bye byes? Give me that one. Give me that one. Okay, go pee pee. Go ahead. I know after a long ride like that.